SCP-112 is contained inside an abandoned amusement park now called Site, where armed guards dress as amusement-tastic land staff and keep civilians away from every disabled ride. The ride power supply sits in a Foundation Prefect building with 2 high-security locks, 6 security staff, and 1 operator assigned to decide when SCP-112 may run. Because the anomaly occurs regardless of condition, crews perform only mandatory maintenance, and every test keeps a portable toilet plus basic food and drink nearby.
Before Foundation ownership, SCP-112 was the Blue Steelsurfer, a steel sit-down coaster sold as the park crown jewel, until early riders reported disastrous experiences.
Years after bankruptcy and abandonment, a local gang restarted the rides. Police met them as they exited SCP-112, and the redacted aftermath pulled local media in. Suspecting a mandate-relevant anomaly, the Foundation bought the park under the cover of rebuilding it as amusement-tastic land and began controlled testing. In ordinary operation, SCP-112 runs normally until point alpha. At the primary drop, the whole train vanishes from observation. Outside observers wait about 3 minutes before the train returns at point omega, 3 meters from the start, while riders may report minutes or months inside. Subjects describe bat wings, cobra rolls, inclined loops, and other elements not present on SCP-112, yet they do not think the rest of the world changed. After exit, riders suffer confusion and illness based on the subjective duration they endured, even when their bodies show no matching hunger, wounds, or exhaustion. D. 34534 entered at 2:42 p.m. Returned 3 minutes later, asked for aspirin, passed out, and reported 36 minutes of loops and twists.
D. Lu 7 Dill. Waddle Urfus like in places, the Billy, a pit, Traber Villy. Bath, Decide Rich, Ofer Av, O E Ev, Tai, Barrier. By described enighted Wurgle. Wikipedia Mounda Faguin but Craig de Madam. Content in my assads, all cult
D58 return ravenous and violent, repeating phrases about no food, sleep, spinning, and 152 lights. The Foundation inferred roughly 5 subjective months. D7 reported 1 month and 6 days without food or sleep, while the camera showed only 3 minutes of sobbing and normal movement on the real track.
D3Y75 People 7, a former coaster designer, remembered an impressive ride and said the other rider sat forward, mouth open, barely responding before the post-ride assault. D23 Wook, interviewed 3 weeks later, described screaming for months at a companion who never noticed him, though no medical injury matched his experience.
The paired interviews exposed the core danger. 2 riders can share 1 train while experiencing incompatible realities, then collide violently when the ride ends. SCP-112 remains Euclid because containment depends on controlled access, disguised guards, limited power, and an abandoned park story that keeps civilians away. The lasting implication is not physical damage but subjective imprisonment. A 3-minute ride can leave a person carrying months of hunger, panic, and exhaustion.